A homie slid me 25 beans. This one's for you. What's up, guys? Elephants here, and here we are to do a breakdown / live reaction and review to chapter 417 of My Hero Academia, which is known as DEKU approaches. Oh wait, no. I actually don't see. I don't think that's the chapter title. The chapter title is not on the first page. So I don't know. Once again, I'll slit some beans, and I'll do anything for 25 beans. For 25 beans? You know what I can get for 25 beans? 25 beans. But with that being the case, I'm actually pretty excited. Notably because, like, the only other time this friend asked me to do something similar without the beans was another popular chapter that did actually have some crazy stuff in it from another series that I review. So they ended up being right on that one. So I'm very interested. So let's not waste any more time and let's hop right into it. Editing me. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, you could also become a patron. Remember, with 25 beans and order whatever video you want. I will do it. But let's see. DEKU approaches the tightly shut off Shigaraki. I still need to make that video. I'm going to make the video. I got to make the video soon. Unless this chapter does something to flip it on its head. I don't know. Oh, it's all coming together. This is the finger mask that Shigaraki tried to block himself into and Midoriya to straight punch through. Okay. All right. Okay. See you, Midoriya. Slobber knock him then. I see you, Midoriya. Izuku Midoriya. Like, let's see you cook then. Jeez, this is May's technology is fantastic, especially for what, like 16-year-old for her technology. But then again, the My Hero Academia verse, it's weirdly technologically advanced. Like it's technologically advanced to the point where we have like holograms and stuff like that. But it's technically still not too technologically advanced. Like, legally speaking, it isn't, just because like we do have regular cell phones still. It's not like everyone communicates by holograms. We're in like sci-fi future, but there are some weirdly advanced things. I feel like this is one of them. Like, golly, like imagine the force that's coming off from this impact. Look at the sheer ring of wind force that's coming off of this, and the pod's fine. Let's see. What the heck is happening? Okay, that's nice. We're seeing the other nations, the other world places. Let's see. Now I'm lost. I mean, but that's the thing. Now, once again, just with how Shigaraki's been portrayed, war's over. It don't matter. Like we're I was about to say we're cooked. No, DEKU cooked. We're good. Like, once again, outside of this plot line that no one's corrected me on, so I'm gonna assume I'm right. Outside of the Kurogiri plotline, this is it. This is final battle. We're done. World saved. Shigaraki's out here being like, don't hit me! Like, he's hitting that. This full-grown man blessed with the most powerful power to ever power, and he's out here, from a guy who's broken every single bone in his body and literally can't even move. Like, Midoriya Izuku is puppeting himself around Black Whip, but he's still apparently so much more powerful than this. He's got I just wanted so much more from Rocky. And I know that's bad, right? I technically shouldn't, because it's not like Rocky's a good person. And, like, legally speaking, right? Villain will lose. That's just law. Like if I had to, like, look up rules in the dictionary, villain loss, top of that list. But I don't know, man. Like, if I had to just be real, my biggest issue, and admittedly, I've had a bunch of issues with the second war arc. It's why I was very inconsistent with reviewing it for a while, but now I'm back on it because, you know, I'm trying to be here for the end of it. But I think one of my biggest, and this is just not even a second war thing, this is just a back third of the series thing. I really don't like how Hori has handled Rocky. I don't like that we're just erasing his character. I don't like that he's a coward. I don't like that he's weak. And the thing is, I think the reason it gets me nettled so much is because I saw a whiff, a hint, a taste of the vision, a piece of it, a lick of it, just a taste, just a drizzle of original Rocky, big Rocky, the Rocky that I respected. Like, when Rocky first came back, when he crawled himself out of the depths of All For One when Midoriya first showed up, and he was like, yo, it's good, Midoriya, let's throw hands. And like, Mandalay came in from the top rope and was hyping bro up. It was like, Midoriya, you need to stop him right now, or he'll destroy the entire world. And then you have all the One For All vestiges being like, glazing Shigaraki to the moon, being like, oh yes, Midoriya, he's so much more powerful than you. You stand no chance against him. You have to do, but like, just to see him reduced to this, hitting the and being bullied by a progressively weaker Midoriya. It's crazy. It's great. I'm not fully rocking with it. I have no choice in the matter, obviously, but like, if I had one complaint, there are a couple things that would switch about this war that I'll talk about more in depth once it's all over. I'm probably gonna do similar to what Oceans and Ian Waffles did, where I probably need someone to do that, though, because I really like how they did it, where they went through the entire arc. In fact, I'm not sure the last time they posted something like that, but I think Oceans just stopped talking about My Hero Academia. For good reason. A lot of people, like, luckily enough, I don't have to deal with it too much, but like, a lot of people have very strong opinions about My Hero Academia, especially when it comes to defending it. But I would love to do something like that, where I get somebody, like, in a podcast format, and we just yap about, like, the arc after rereading it. So there are definitely, like, things I'm going to talk about in retrospect once the second war is finally over. But if I could just switch one thing, it'd just be how Rocky was handled. It's just like, literally just remove First War, Rocky flip. You can keep All For One coming back. You can keep All For One wanting to take Rocky's body. You can keep all that, but just let Big Rocky be Big Rocky. Don't reduce him down to this, bro. Let him go out with some dignity. Like, even if you're gonna do the whole thing where, oh, Rocky's not actually a real person, well, all that matters is the child inside. You see, all of Rocky's character development, all of his relationships with these other characters, all that's fake. It's just a wall of hands and fingers built up by All For One. Rocky's actually a victim and everything, and we can not justify. Obviously, Midoriya is not attempting to justify any of Rocky's actions. And once again, we don't know. That's the thing. It's one of the unfortunate things, but it is verbatim. We just don't know what Midoriya's plan is after he changes Rocky. Is Rocky still going to jail for his crimes? Like, even if he frees Tenko, that's still Rocky. Like, I'm not exactly sure what the plan is, not the motive. We've never had that stated. It's one of the weirdest things about the whole saving Shigaraki plot. But that's the thing, like, man, Rocky, bro, Rocky. But let's see. I'm still on the first page. Izuku Midoriya forced his way inside the clump fingers. No, there's something about, like, I mean, if you can draw. Once again, I can't draw hands to save my life. Who am I? Who am I? If I was Hori, once I get the ability to draw hands, once I practice enough, because I've just been out of practice for a little bit, I can draw a bunch of other things. I can draw faces, I can draw expressions, I can even draw, like, tiny hands. I just can't, for some reason, I've even, like, used my own hands and references, I've looked up other hands, I've done everything in my power, and I just struggle to do it. So I can't even knock Hori. And once again, the issue is, right, even with the whole rant I read on just now about Rocky and how he's being handled and all that, none of this is necessarily bad, right? The only thing I'll admit, I feel like you could, like, I'm going to put this in very heavy quotation marks, the only thing you could say is objectively correct about anything I said was that they glazed Rocky through the roof for him to be absolutely worthless. He lands one solid hit on Midoriya. And not even a solid hit, because Midoriya reacts and blocks it. And Rocky's done absolutely nothing since, and has barely used any of the All For One quirks. That's the thing. I think the only thing, and I guess the other thing that they did to really sell his power was, like, him destroying Mount Fuji. But that amounted to basically nothing, because Midoriya stopped that. So, like, that's the one thing. That's the only thing that's objective. Everything else, and it's going to sound shocking, everything else is fine and fits into the schema of the narrative. Like, heck, even Toga being hypothetically alive in last chapter fits into the schema of the narrative. The whole point was that these villains don't have to get got. The narrative has been pushing this point since time immemorial. We need to save Dabi. We need to save Toga. We need to save Rocky. We've been pushing this. Hori is just fulfilling that narrative piece. I just don't like it. That's the thing. And that's one of the hardest things, at least for me, right? Because, like, whenever I try to explain something I don't like, it typically comes when it feels like it's contradicting a narrative that's being told up to a point. It feels like it's either missing the point. Legally speaking, this is not. This is all fine. I just don't like it. Let's see. I got towel. Recovers. Oh, can play soccer against it. Oh, okay. Poor Hori. Okay. Wait, but where'd the Jacko fit go? Or not the Jacko fit. I'm not expecting Midori to show up in the Jacko fit. But like, where did the whole black whip evil looking mask go? I thought that was like symbolic when we saw him clean face last chapter, but I guess he just went full clean face now. Look at him bury that fist in there though. Is that Rocky? Oh shoot, he buried it straight into Rocky's gut. Ooh. Interesting. Looks like Rocky's like breaking down too. That's neat. Once again, I always glaze. I'm sorry. I've got to activate it with this treasure I summon. Unlimited glaze. But like, logistically, man, Hori, just the ability to stretch black and white. Black and white. And of course, you know, grayscale is a massive spectrum. It is humongous. It's why, heck, admittedly, I've switched over to more like saturated and colored thumbnails because people requested that, and I'm fine with that. But like, one of the most fun things I like to do, especially whenever I started incorporating my own face in the thumbnail and stuff like that, was I loved messing with the grayscale, messing with the saturation, seeing how much darkness you can get in through lowering the exposure, or lowering the brightness, or how much the opposite you can imbue. Like, there's so much fun you can do with grayscale with a photo editor. Hori and his team does this by hand. I love the use of contrast here. Midoriya being the most solid footing, the most solid piece in this unstable world of destruction and malice. Having the deepest, darkest black here in both his pants and his hair, contrasted by the ever inconsistent and the light mix of white and light gray from Big Rocky and all of his fingers that are being shattered through, the pieces being torn apart, to the extra details of like the fingers literally growing out of Rocky's face as a desperate attempt to try and protect him or try and reinforce it. Once again, the symbolism works. The hands and how they represent All For One and his literal grip over Shigaraki and Shigaraki's hatred, because remember, this is meant to be a manifestation of that too. Shigaraki's hatred attempting to come out and coddle him, and the same symbols that recognize the hatred, because remember, that's why Shigaraki had the hands. They always were an insinuation of the hands that would bear down upon him. So of course, the hands coming out to defend him and encircle him only to be broken through by Midori. Symbolically, it works. Artistically, it's fantastic. All this works, and that's the thing. It's not, at least, I don't know, once again, maybe I'm just off the za or something, but in my opinion, I can't chalk this up to bad writing or poor storytelling or anything like that. This is good. I just don't like it. But let's say golly. Oh, okay. I wonder who he sent this time. I wonder who he sent. Who's left? I think he's keeping Danjiboro, because Danjiboro, even though Midori doesn't have any black whip in him in this shot, I'm assuming Danjiboro is like the base one, because he's the first one that Midori unlocked, and also, you know, he needs black whip to move right now. So maybe Nana? Or maybe Fajin? Maybe? He may actually, because I think, did Kudo? Kudo already went. Did N go yet? I forget. Once again, that's happens if you read these chapters weekly and don't think too much about it outside of that. Let's see. Uh-oh. Oh, did he send Nana? Alright. That's it. But once again, I guess he kind of doesn't need float thanks to the ability to use Air Force to kind of fly, or pseudo fly like All Might does. And also, Nana would be a particularly effective breaking point, like just straight piercing through the veil of darkness, if you will. I think that's a smart way to do it. I'm using Nana. Let's see. Yoichi? Bruce? Banjo? Why did I say Banjo? Why did I say Banjo? Banjo? I'm sorry. I don't know why I said Banjo. Banjo? Toshinori? Was I the only one who got bounced back? Oh, that's even worse. Wait, but then how's he gonna move? I thought all his bones were how is Midori gonna move? Why did Danjiboro? I saw, you know, they tried to insert Danjiboro too. That guy's name was Bruce? I was watching an art. I've been, once again, it's like on and off Arkham videos and like you just superhero gaming in general or just superheroes have been like back and forth all across my YouTube, and that's like I've been consuming a bunch of superhero content. But like Bruce Wayne, like I'm thinking of Scarecrow from the end of Arkham Knight, but I still don't get why. I mean, once again, I guess the point is to save Tomura and hoping, or save Tenko. And by saving Tenko, hopefully you don't need to fight anymore. Like Midoriya, you're literally incapacitated now. Presumably. If he can't actually move without Black Whip. I know he was doing it. Maybe he's just reinforcing himself. Maybe he can still move. But interesting, Nana got bounced back. And you know what? It makes sense. Once again, quirks are magic. So I'm not going to like look for too much logic in it. But, hypothetically speaking, they're all the way over there. I'm not picking them up. But hypothetically speaking, pure hypotheticals. If I had to justify a reason why it was just Nana, she's the reason that Shimura ended up in the situation that he did. She's the reason the house exists. The house that's the root of all of Shigaraki's negativity and evil and malice. She's the fundamental root of all that. It may not even be Shigaraki rejecting her. It may be the remnants of the father of Shigaraki, her son. Hard, just like, no, I recognize your general spiritual form. No, stay away. That may be it. Because notably, that's the thing. That's the unfortunate thing about Big Rocky. I think he only saw like the picture of Nana. I think that's it. He doesn't actually have any particular information on her. He recognizes her in the Vestige world at the end of the first war as like, hey, let's go, Grandma. Like he does recognize her there, but outside of that, they don't really have any particular connection. So I'm assuming this is like either Shigaraki blaming her for the existence of Shigaraki knowing subconsciously or consciously that that's his grandma, and knowing it's her fault because of the Hero Society, and by proxy her having to give up his dad that led to the house in the first place, the thing that's the reason and source of all Shigaraki's problems. That may be the reason she's bounced back. Because other than that, I got nothing. But let's see. I was the only one who got bounced back? Why? You can be Okay, yep. So it is the callback to this moment. You can be rest assured, Grandma. I also hate you with all my heart. Okay, so yeah, it's still there. It's still there. The hatred is very specifically. It's like a brick wall, specifically in relation to her. It's not just because he hates me. Mom, no, don't go. Oh, that was what. Oh, chapter 417, Shibura. This is my weakness. Oh, so she didn't have her heart in it. Okay, I completely forgot about that line. I think I may have a loose reference to it in my head, but I didn't remember he said that explicitly. But Nana Shimura, she herself wasn't fully willing to dive in. That makes sense, though. That makes sense. Once again, it's not. That's the unfortunate thing about the Vestiges, but once again, the blessing of the Vestiges in a weird, twisted, roundabout, backwards kind of stupid way. The Vestiges aren't the original. They are not. They are not tied to the original or anything. We literally see Vestige All Might and real All Might. There's some sort of pseudo link, but like just because the real Nana doesn't mean this Nana. So like, this is just a copy of Nana Shimura's consciousness that is like a manifestation over her quirk factor. Essentially, I view like the Vestiges kind of like containers. Like, how do I put this? I view the Vestiges, and by proxy the quirks, when plugged into All for One or One for All, I kind of view them as USBs. And the quirk, the software that's on the USB itself is the quirk, and the hardware is the USB, which is manifested in this outer shell that is the copy of the quirk's original holder. That's how I view it. And with that being the case, essentially, it isn't just like you try to force a USB in upside down. It's like if the USB in your hand jerked out of the way when you try to plug it into the USB port. That's what Nana did. Maybe even subconsciously, she's just like, I don't want to face him. She straight up does not want to engage with Rocky. Because once again, her guilt of leaving, I don't remember his name, but leaving Shigaraki's father behind. That's that's the thing though. But you know, it works. Even with, I was about to be like, well, this doesn't really matter because this isn't real Nana. Like, real Nana's been gone for upwards of 20 years. But like, even still, this character and how relevant they are to the current nature of things due to their relationship with All Might, due to their relationship with All for One, due to their relationship with Shigaraki and Shigaraki's father. Yeah, Nana's responsible for a whole lot. So if we can't have the original character go through anything or any guilt because of this, because of, you know, like being... No, of course, the next best step is to use her consciousness copy in this way. Though I'm interested to see how this ends up playing into Midoriya now, physically, in the physical world, since now apparently she's the only bit of software left. Now all Midoriya has is raw power, which he may not even be able to use. So I don't know. This is interesting. I'm not seeing what bro over 25 means for just yet. I'm not seeing that. Hold on, let me peep something real quick. Let me peep something for a minute. Let me take a look in a book. Hypothetical reading written. No. Okay. I was looking up, like, what? Is there a specific stated reason for why Nana chose to give up? But, like, I mean, it's just the hero work. So, it's a cost. There's a cost. Once again, Hero Society itself being corrupted. Okay. So... What is that? What? Is that dark? What? What are you doing? Wait. Is that his vestige? But wait, but he's the... This is probably what? Hold on. Let me. Let's take a look. Okay. So Midoriya shows up at the house naturally. Okay, so he's at the Shimoda residence. He goes to ring the bell. So wait, what? Hold on. Let me. Do I gotta do a dark Deku voice? What is? I'm gonna be a hero one day. What good will knowing do? What will change after knowing about the past? It's how Shigaraki sees me. He's talking through it. Why couldn't it just be Rocky? Well, I guess... Okay. A bit roundabout, but once again, quirks are magic, so I guess they can take whatever form they want. So I'm assuming this is the manifestation of Shigaraki's fear of connection. If I had to hazard a guess to what this is, it's likely just how Shigaraki's brain rationalizes the fear of connection. And since it still is a part of Shigaraki being reflected to Midoriya, an actual person, it's taking his shape, considering Midoriya is the one trying to enforce connection and force understanding. So, of course, the thing that's trying to break the door down, you fight it with the thing that's trying to break the door down. You try to keep the door closed by pushing with an equal force of the thing that's trying to open the door. The interesting dark Deku. I kind of... You know what? As metal as this design looks, I actually really like the all-black aesthetic. He actually looks like a lot of the Kurogiri Deku fan, or the Nomu Deku fan designs that I've seen before. He actually looks a lot like that. Especially with like the wispy blackness and the all-white eyes. He looks a lot like that. But I guess it works. It works for the fact that this is just... If I had to take it... Once again, I'm fully interpreting stuff. This is what happens. This is why I like to do live reactions separate and then do an actual review, so like my brain has like time to process and think about things. But if off the top of the domer, randoms right off the top, if I had to hazard a guess, like I said, this is most likely Shigaraki's fear of connection being literally manifested, literally laid bare. And it's mirroring Midoriya. You know, we all hold ourselves up to mirrors, and the mirrors that we are in each other's minds and stuff like that. So I get that. I wish it was, but then again, you can't. Nah, it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense to use this one. It makes sense to use Dark Deku more, because if you use any version of Shigaraki, then the connection's already met. Right? So, like, it would have, actually, you could have used Shigaraki's family? Or, like, a reflection. It'd be wild if it was a reflection of All Might. But I think, now that I'm thinking about it, I think Dark Deku works the most. Just as, because it still is technically a piece of Shigaraki, as Midoriya thinks here. It's how Shigaraki sees him, and he's talking through it. So you can't show Rocky, because if you show Rocky, Rocky's the meaning of connection. You can't show the people of Rocky, because they're likely inside the house, people that Midoriya's going to have to, like, physically overcome, or conversationally overcome. And you can't show Nana, because Nana's kicked back, and once again, Shigaraki doesn't actually know that much about Nana. And her being used here as, like, an anti-Nana would kind of, it wouldn't hit as hard as the Dark Deku visual. And also, I think All Might could be cool, kind of, but at the same time, this isn't All Might's story anymore. All Might's been done, so I get why Dark Deku ends up being here. Interesting. I'm seeing the bit. Maybe this is getting. If I'm only like halfway through the chapter, maybe it'll get crazier. Die. Oh, okay. Sorry for the intrusion. Is Midoriya actually going to get Truck-kun? Wait, I can't skip over this. I don't know, but I don't want things to end without knowing. Okay. I mean, I get, once again, that's kind of like human nature in general. Just like, why do you want to know these things? Because I can. And I wanna. Like, that's kind of basically how humans have been functioning for the longest time. Why? Why must you go to the moon? Because I can. Or I think I can. Let me try. And then that happens. So maybe that's it, but interesting. I don't know. I've given my opinions, but once again, this makes sense in the context of Midoriya's character. Midoriya, like, unfortunately, well, I say unfortunately, but it's kind of unfortunate, at least in my opinion. Midoriya was never going to take Shigaraki's life. No matter how many people, Shigaraki could have slaughtered half the planet, and Midoriya would still try to save him. It is unfortunately kind of in the case of the Batman conundrum. Where, like, how many people has the Joker found? But Batman keeps putting him in jail. Just break out and do it all again. But in comparison, and once again, this is the benefit of Batman having countless writers, being put in numerous situations, growing and evolving as a character. I mentioned this before, Batman has limits within the context of his morality. We saw it in, it's not Final Crisis, maybe it was Final Crisis, I forget what the event was called, but when Darkseid himself was going to fall on creation, taking it out with the drastic size of his own flesh and bone, crushing the corpse of a dead god, falling upon creation. You know what Batman did? He said, hey, I don't like doing this, especially with the thing that took my parents away. But if it's you or the lives of every single creature in existence, I'm choosing you, bucko. And he lets it loose. But Shigaraki's not one. And while Shigaraki slaughtered and ruined the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, well, maybe not slaughtered hundreds of thousands, but he slaughtered a couple hundred people at this point easily, and ruined the lives of many, many more. Midoriya was never going to. Because it's going to sound so rough when I say this, but at least in my opinion, Midoriya does not believe, well, he doesn't believe in the lives of the unknown. In the sense that he doesn't see the lives of countless faceless individuals as more valuable than the lives of one person with a face and name. Which is heroic. Once again, Midoriya is innately heroic for that. In a sense. But it's kind of just, it's the cost-benefit analysis of heroism. You ask most people, either in the My Hero Academia universe, or I've seen it in my own comment section, I've seen it in other people's videos, even outside of it. You put us in Midoriya's shoes, we're taking out Shigaraki. He is a threat to humanity. Could literally, if Midoriya, once again, we said it before, and I'll say it again, Midoriya fails right here, everyone dies. Well, maybe not anymore. Once again, it seems Shigaraki's broken, but, like, that could easily happen. Say Midoriya stops Shigaraki right here, unless all quirks fade. Unless All for One and One for All destroyed and Shigaraki is powerless. Even if Shigaraki gets reformed here or saved here, he breaks out. The world is destroyed. Shigaraki, the life of one boy is not worth the life of the billions of people on the planet. But to Midoriya, that doesn't matter. He can still try to save this one boy, which is innately heroic and not wrong. It doesn't contradict his character, but I've given my opinion. Let's see. Sorry for the intrusion. He's really better get truck coon. Ah! Darn brats! Where are your parents? Oh wait, that's supposed to be the truck driver. Darn brats! Where are your parents? I'm able to interfere here. Like, dude, you had a literal conversation with Broski. What'd you think? We're deep into Shigaraki's consciousness. And since you're and one for all users, you have a physical form and can interact with the world. Ah, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Kind of. Once again. But once again, man, in Shigaraki's consciousness, not actually in his memory. So Midoriya is not like time traveling or anything. 7th! You can call her Nana, bro. Everyone but me got transferred. Sorry. Aw, that's sad. But I'm glad to have you by my side. So what is happening in the real world? Is this taking over the span of like 0.0001 seconds? Like, are they just... Or I guess since Midoriya punched him, is Midoriya just... And Shigaraki's like... What does this look like in the real world perspective? Are they just laid out? Is someone coming to be like, whoa, y'all good? Y'all Gucci, Andor Geekin? Shigaraki's down. Midoriya can't stop us. Boom! I don't know, let's see. We're at Shigaraki's core, his origin. This is his most delicate and weak spot. The Shigaraki we'll find here should be fairly fragile. You'll have to touch him. Whoa! 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 Nana! Nana! Yeah, I'm kidding. You have to touch him. I'm sorry, that was wrong. And strike at his origin. But like, what is that? Does he just have to punch him again? Like, I don't know. Okay, look at Midoriya hitting the dash. Origin. Uh-oh. What's happening, Nana? Whoa! Where'd you come from, buddy? Oh, wait a minute. So interesting. His memories are blending. All right. And once again, I guess this is like a pseudo-defense mechanism. Deku's being pushed further up the timeline. Because I see Stain here, I see Redestro here. So... That's interesting, though. Because the timeline jumps seem weird at first, but this one makes sense. Midoriya got really, really close to the origin, the beginning. So what is Shigaraki's consciousness, and likely subconscious, if I had to assume? What is his subconscious mind trying to do to the one person who can come in and like actually interfere with this stuff? It's trying to push him further and further away, push him further up the timeline. It's once again, it's doing something I like in the sense of it's trying to establish Shigaraki himself, not Tenko Shimura, as a character, as a person who had valuable experiences that shaped him to who he is today. But in this case, they're mainly being used as defense mechanisms by the falsehood of Shigaraki Tomoda in order to kind of just bully him, keep him down, keep him away, and keep it so that Midoriya cannot interfere. So Stain pops up. Well, let's see. That's why you're about to die. Stain! What burdens do you bear? What do you seek to build? Got a plan. Oh, but see, that's the thing, though. That's weird. Ooh, I like how this is drawn. This, ooh, building. Ooh, I like that. Ooh, it's nasty looking. That's very nasty looking. But I like that. Using Redestro's, that throws my theory out the window immediately. I don't even like looking at that. It looks kind of nasty, yeah. But using Redestro's long nose to substitute that for the Plague Doctor mask, she's like, that's some good design synergy right there. But, ooh, yeah, everything here looks kind of ugly. But once again, this is meant to be ugly. But that kind of throws out the window. Because he's at the origin, then Midoriya gets kicked back to the Stain time period, which makes sense. Then Redestro takes place well after Stain. But then Chisaki's in between that. Overhaul's built in between. So maybe this is... But I guess, once again, it makes sense. Of course, his subconscious, desperate, last attempt mind isn't really thinking rationally and like worried about the timeline and stuff like that. It's probably just grabbing what it knows as some of its strongest like emotional events that manifest in the form of actual combatants to try and stop Midoriya. So I guess you could kind of use this as like a power scale thing, where it's like Stain was the weakest, then Redestro, then Overhaul. But then again, you could also use it as like emotional event scaling. Like maybe Stain impacted Shigaraki the least, even though it caused another major temper tantrum. Then it was Redestro who allowed Shigaraki to reawaken, but it was Overhaul who first made Shigaraki realize his weaknesses. Because when you think about it, I think Overhaul is the only one to very specifically take out a full-scale League of Villains member permanently when he defeated Manga. And by defeated, I mean detonated. But Redestro didn't get anybody. Not a soul. So, and neither did Stain. So I guess that is like a logical paracellation. No! Out of my way! Ooh, bro, hit the dash. And he got away from him. Okay. Ooh, we are freaking and geeking. What is this? It's a secret. So, this is Grandma. A picture of Kotono. Interesting imagery here. So I guess Midori didn't throw open this door. This door kind of like burst. Maybe he did. Maybe he grabbed it. But then again, this is being held. I wonder who's being... Oh, well, this is Shigaraki. This is Kid Rocky's hands, presumably. That this is being held by. All right. A picture of Kotono. Let's be a brother-sister hero team, but keep it a secret from Yep. The hands that struck at him. Yep. That's why the hands are massive symbolism. Look at the dog. The dog's like, "Ow! Don't hit my boy! I'm a Aquarius. Can't do anything. But don't hit him!" Yep, Nana's having the most severe reaction here. But look at Midoriya, desperate to save the child. Okay, golly. Kotaro. A sweet, happy child. Reduced to a monster. Interesting, though, that Shigaraki's blacked out. Presumably, once again, or Tomura, or Tenko. None of those, just Tenko. Tenko's blacked out. Tenko's the one to sort of be lost in shadow, lost in shade. That shadowy figure is Shigaraki? Okay. Interesting. I'm being rejected? I guess that's too powerful. Ironically enough, I'm leaping all over to all different kinds of references. But I guess it's kind of like Inside Out. And now you're like, what? But this is kind of like Inside Out in the sense where there are like some core memories, some memories that are so like fundamental that if anything were to ever happen to them, like the person would break. Like, I think like that's a whole decent chunk. I haven't seen Inside Out like since it came out. And that's going on like 8 years old now. I think it came out in 2016. It may have come out even earlier. But like I think a whole core plot point of that movie, like they're going to re-hunt down the core memories because they're very, very important to a fundamental nature of a being. So this core memory, this fundamental part of Shigaraki being beat down for his desire to be a hero by Kotaro, it's such a fundamental part of him that Midoriya, who's able to burst right on through the weaker memories, as these are just like parts of the facade or memories from the facade, it's this real one that caused the mask to be born in the first place that Midoriya can't reach. It's pushing me back, but I'm so close. Hey yo, Midoriya, close to what, my boy? Let's see. That wasn't your grandmother in the picture. That was a monster who abandoned her child. Once again, Kotaro, terrible person. Terrible. Just like Shigaraki. Terrible person. Just as I don't believe that what happened to Shigaraki justifies the mass slaughter and destruction he did, I don't believe what happened to Kotaro justifies what he did to his children at all. But I do understand it. I do understand why being abandoned, especially when you don't understand why. Like, notably, I highly doubt Nana well, maybe, I think she did. I think she actually did say, Mama has to go for, like, hero work. But even still, that's so vague, especially in the mind of a child. Essentially, I assume Kotaro always just grew up thinking he just wasn't good enough. Wasn't strong enough. Wasn't worthy enough to actually be raised by his mother. That's probably how his brain rationalized it, because what other way can you? Let's see. I get it now. He didn't keep the picture because he likes it. Do you want to know what... Do you really want to know what heroes are? It's just that he couldn't throw it away. For all this time, they're people who hurt their own families only to help complete strangers. He ain't right. I mean, he ain't wrong. He ain't right, but he ain't wrong. And ironically enough, he's once again he's feeding into the heroic cycle. He's hurting his own family to stop him from helping strangers. Let's see. He couldn't let go of it. The wound I left on Kotaro spread to Shigaraki, and I defeated All for One and came back to him. See, once again, it works. It works. I like Nana as a character. I'm sorry, Kotaro. Shimura-san! Oh, interesting. For being such a weak mother. Ah. Once again, I feel bad for Nana. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry for not coming back to you. This is okay, this is a nice key visual. Ooh, and she destroyed it. Oh, but they destroyed each other. I'm sorry. It's all Grandma's fault. Yep, that's true. No. Hear me, Mon? I can't take it. You hear me, Mon? I can't take it. The origin of decay. Alright. I only want me to react to this. But I'll admit, this is neat, but it's mainly for the Dark Deku thing. I think that's the most interesting part of this chapter. I'm glad, you know what, I like this chapter though, because it does reconcile Shimura's guilt. It does end Nana's guilt and sort of allow her to transcend into not a place of self-acceptance, but kind of a place of self-acceptance, where she takes responsibility for the choice she makes and ends up, while way too late, allowing Midoriya to reach Shigaraki by overcoming her own fears. And now Midoriya has direct one-on-one time with Shigaraki. And he's reverted to an even younger state before UA, back to middle school, the origin of both of their negativities, the origins of both of their desires and quirks. So I'm interested to see what happens next. Overall, W chapter. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave bad grandmother in the comment section down below. I just thank you so much for watching. Please to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 more down month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks include the live reactions to the very next chapter of My Hero Academia, along with ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you join $25 Patreon or $25 member, you can order whatever video you want, just like my homie ordered this video from me. Now, I did thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dago the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members, Recliner Plays, Greyhound, Akids Void, Astro, Red Wolf 4765, Eternal Flame, and Teen Mitgao. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons, Steron, Sean, Panda Goat, Midnight Lord 21, Metal Solid Crisis, Kevin, Ignil, and EHAC1. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $7 member, Autumn Mornings Lazo. And I'd like to give a big thank you to our $10 member, Jay Warrior. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $10 patrons, Joaquin and Idemo Kami. Along with another juicy thank you to our $25 patron, ChinaDoll09. And I'd like to give a final Giga Gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.